what's up, Pisces? This is your March 2016 horoscope. Thanks for joining me. I'm in the great outdoors. The wind is blowing my hair all over the place, but it's all good. It's beautiful outside. So what is the month of March bringing for us Pisceans? Well, first, let's see where the sun is at this month. The sun is in Pisces, in our sign, in our first house this month for the first half of the month. This means that the spotlight is on us. We are being seen in a positive light wherever we go. We're feeling good. We're feeling energetic because the first house is the house of the self. So we may be putting an emphasis more on ourselves during this time, like maybe an emphasis on our bodies and our appearance as well, because that's what the first house rules. So maybe getting new hairdos, getting a new wardrobe. I mean, just feeling like we want the world to see us for who we really are and feeling very proud of ourselves and our identity. You know, that's a big focus while the sun is there. On the 21st of the month, the sun moves into Aries, which is our second house of worth and value and earn income. So if we're trying to find another way to earn money, and whether it's extra money or whether it is a job in general, while the sun is in the second house, this is a great time to find those resources. The second house does rule, monetary resources and also the resources that we use every day on a daily basis, like water and air and electricity. So we might be looking a little bit more closely at those things and how we're using them, and also how we're spending our money, because the second house is the house of material possessions and items that we hold dear to ourselves and the things that satisfy our day-to-day needs as a human being. It's also how we budget our money. So we might be looking at our budget a lot more. How are we spending our money, or how are we saving our money? Are we just throwing it out there, just kind of being wasteful, or are we being resourceful? So we're going to be thinking about these things while the sun is in the second house. Since the sun is like a flashlight or a spotlight, it's going to be putting a spotlight on material possessions. So we may start looking around at things that we want to buy a lot more and be more inclined towards spending money. So that's one thing to watch for. If you have the money to do it, do it. But if you don't, you might want to be a little bit careful in that area. Venus starts out in the month still in Aquarius, where she has been hanging out since February, and this is our 12th house. The 12th house is an area where we're very familiar and comfortable with because it's similar to the energy of Pisces, which we are the 12th sign of the zodiac, and the 12th house is a very similar energy. So with Venus being there, we might have been enjoying, our Piscean things a lot more, like spending time alone in seclusion and being in isolation, or maybe having, more private time with maybe one special person that's close to us. Keeping things kind of on the low and staying under the radar when it comes to things like love and enjoyment. We may not be getting out there as much, enjoying ourselves, but maybe just staying home and listening to music by ourselves a lot more, watching movies, and, just being a little bit more reclusive as far as enjoyment. But once we get to the 6th of the month, Venus moves into Pisces, which is our sign. So Venus in your sign is the perfect time if you want to make any changes to your appearance, okay? Going shopping, going to get your hair did, your nails did, going to buy some new shoes, doing anything to change your appearance is perfect when Venus is in the first house because it makes you feel good about yourself. That's what Venus wants you to do. She's all about beauty and enjoyment. She's going to put an emphasis on us, and also whatever planet transits through your first house, you kind of wear it like a badge, okay? And the rest of the world sees that energy being worn on you. So you're going to be carrying around the energy of Venus. So I'm just warning you, Pisces, if you're not looking for love, you're going to be attracting it to you more than likely if you actually get out there and attract it to yourself. Or if you are looking for love, this is the perfect time to really give off those Venusian vibes, that sprinkle of Venusian Venus fairy dust. You're going to be spreading around everywhere and have people following you like, ooh, who is this Pisces right here? Who is this lovely little fish that I need to follow around? So just be mindful of that. If you aren't looking for love, Venus is going to help you to bring and attract more people to you no matter what. For the first week of the month, Mars is still going to be in Scorpio. And this is our ninth house. The ninth house is the house of travel, like long distance travel. It's also the house of higher education and higher knowledge. So Mars has been there since January. This energy is continued just for the first week of March, where we may be seeking out higher knowledge, maybe taking some classes. I know I'm a Pisces moon, and yeah, I started taking a couple of classes to enhance my skills within my passion and my craft, and Mars is a very passionate energy, and so is Scorpio. So going after those things with a passion to learn higher knowledge and achieve, like a degree or certificate or something, may have been a focus for us Pisceans the last 2 months. Once we get to the 7th, Mars shifts gears and goes into Sagittarius. Sagittarius is our 10th house. Saturn is there. Saturn has been in our 10th house, teaching us a lot of lessons about hard work when it comes to our social status and our career. If we really want a career, we have to work hard for it. Saturn is the general. He's the boss. He's the top dog. He's going to be looking down upon us and asking us, how bad do you really want this career or this status of yours? You better be working very hard. But I'll tell you what, Mars shifting into Sagittarius, going into our 10th house, is going to help us. It's going to give us more drive and energy to perform the actions necessary to achieve those high goals and that high status that we want and get that career that we want. So, great time, Pisces, great time to stay motivated with career and earning extra money, because we have the 10th house activated, which is career, and then we have the 2nd house, which is our earned income activated. So, go for that money, Pisces. For the first week of the month, Mercury is still in Aquarius, which is our 12th house. So our minds, which Mercury rules, rational, logical thinking, may have been a little more cloudy and fuzzy, and we're not really wanting to put a lot of thought and concentration into things that are like logical. We just kind of want to be in our Piscean world, just kind of floating in outer space and, being able to let our minds wander a lot. But Mercury shifts into Pisces on the 6th of the month. So this is our energy. And although whenever Mercury comes in contact with your sign, it makes you more busy, makes you have a more active mind. Keep in mind that Neptune is in Pisces within the first 9 degrees of Pisces. So when any planets are moving into Pisces, they're going to come in contact with Neptune. So at first, it can be kind of still a sleepy, foggy, not very focused energy. So we are going to be wanting to have an active mind and everything, but our mind is going to be very active with more imaginative thoughts, okay? More thoughts of escaping reality rather than facing it. Rather than logical stuff, we're just going to be thinking about, Pisces daydreaming stuff for about the first week that Mercury moves into Pisces. But after that, after Mercury separates from Neptune, we are going to have more clarity mentally within, the middle of the month. Because once we get to the 22nd, Mercury moves into Aries, and this is our 2nd house. So we're going to have more thoughts regarding 2nd house matters, which is our earned income, how we're earning our money. And Mercury is a busybody. He's a multitasker. So he's going to be keeping us very busy if we are, looking for a second job or a secondary way to earn income, or even just a primary way to earn income. Mercury is going to keep us very busy thinking about those things and performing those actions and being able to mentally keep up with the pace when it comes to those matters. But also we could be thinking more about budgeting, because there's that 2nd house energy even more enhanced, because the sun's going to be there and Mercury through the end of the month. So thinking about how we utilize our resources and budgeting, financing, all big focuses towards the end of March. Pisces, is very important that I let you know about the eclipses that are happening in March, especially because one of them directly affects Pisces. Now, every month we have a new moon and a full moon. The new moon brings new beginnings. The full moon brings things to a close or to a final decision. The effects usually last about a month from one moon to the next. But when it's an eclipse, it's intensified 10 times, and the effects last about 6 months. So on March 8th, the new moon eclipse is at 18 degrees Pisces. This is us. This is our 1st house. Anything in our lives can change significantly within the next 6 months, Pisces, especially if you were born around the 6th, 7th, 8th of March, a couple days after that. It's going to directly affect you to where you can have a change come up when it comes to just you overall in general. Your body, you know, you may want to change something with your body or your appearance very, very significantly within the next 6 months. Your life path is also going to be affected. You might just decide, you know what, I don't want to be on the path that I'm on anymore. I want to take a new direction in life. I want to go towards the direction of being an artist instead of being someone who works in a cubicle all day. You know, you might make that big decision and start something new within the next 6 months. The full moon eclipse is on March 22nd, and this is in 3 degrees Libra, which is our 8th house. The 8th house is a very emotional house. It's a very emotionally intense house. It's the house that also earns joint finances. So Pisces, if you are partnered up with someone in a marriage or a very serious relationship where you share your resources, even if it's just living together, you know, you share bills or you share children or you share material items between you or even pets, a full moon in the 8th house can bring things to a final decision when it comes to those things. It doesn't have to be anything scary, you know, because the 8th house is a house of like death and rebirth and transformation. And a full moon there, ooh, you know, a lot of Pisces might get a little scared, like, what does that mean for me? But it's just, you know, a very significant changes on the horizon that's very transformative. That's what this full moon is going to be highlighting and going to be how it's going to be affecting us. And remember, it's not always right away. It's not like on the day of the full moon we're going to have like something big and transformative happen, although that can happen. But if it doesn't, remember, the effects are for months and months ahead. You may not see any results until like, you know, the spring or the summertime. So just keep that in mind and prepare for big changes. You know, they're going to be affecting us very, very closely, Pisces. And don't be afraid of them. The things that leave our lives with the eclipses are just making way to bring better in for us, to make our lives that much more better and enjoyable. All right, Pisces, so to wrap up the month of March. Oh, and by the way, happy birthday to some of my Pisces born in March. Woo! Happy birthday to you guys. But our biggest focuses are going to be our first house of the self, especially with the eclipse on the 8th there. The second house of earned income and value, how we value things and our resources, how we're spending and budgeting our money and how we're earning our money. And a little bit of a focus on the 12th house during the beginning of the month and coming out of the fog, you know, with our brains and our minds and how we're enjoying ourselves. Secondary focuses are going to be on the 9th house, the beginning of the month, for the first week, still, you know, on traveling or higher education. Our 10th house is going to be highlighted big time with the Mars and Saturn transits there. So career and big focuses on career, working very hard to achieve the career we want. And then the 8th house of transformation and death and rebirth. So Pisces especially, this is a very intense year for us. Be prepared for big changes and write down which changes you want to manifest in the most beneficial way for you and work very hard towards them. And I'm sure that's what all this intense energy will bring for you, is things to change your life for the better. All right, Pisces, thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful for you. Please subscribe because I will continue to do these every month. I absolutely love doing horoscopes. And also, I haven't really been putting it out there that much, being a little bit more low-key about it. But hey, you know what? People have been asking them for them. So I do readings. I do provide readings about romance, love, compatibility, career, just a general reading about your personality, everything. I do them all, and I absolutely love doing them. So if you would like one, look in the description box, contact me through my email address, and I will let you know all of the details, okay? Well, I will see you guys next month in the month of April. Take care of yourselves. Peace.